Every now and then a bike comes along that becomes your long-term adventure companion and takes you places that you'd never dreamed you'd ever go. This is the story of my R1200Gs, which has just hit 250,000 kilometers after 15 years of ownership. Same engine, same clutch, same driveline. Alright, we've just stopped somewhere between Mitchell and in the middle of nowhere, and my old 05 GS has just done 250,000 Ks. Had it for 15 years, she's 20 years old and it's still going. Original engine. There's Paul. There we go.
Oh, this road goes.
250. Not to say I wouldn't like a new one, but yeah, it's been pretty reliable over 15 years. Yeah, beautiful. And to celebrate this milestone, Paul and I decided to take the bikes into the Outback and visit those iconic places that Paul missed out on when his adventure was cut short 5 years ago, like Birdsville and heading out to the sand dunes on the edge of the Simpson Desert, a place that never fails to take your breath away. It's hard to believe that 5 years have gone by since I last had my GS out here. From there we then crossed the border from Queensland into South Australia, following Cordillo Downs Road towards Inaminka, taking in Cadelga Ruins and the famous Cordillo Downs Woolshed. We're led by flocks of budgerigars along Arabarri Road, where we also find some wild donkeys and amazing scenery. Then chasing the sun and arriving at Inaminka just on dusk. Some early morning brumby spotting, then the Kundra where the roads stretch on forever, across a land teeming with wildlife. We got camels on the left! Amazingly, after giving up all hope, we finally see a herd of camels. Then Gibber Plains give way to wildflowers as far as the eye can see. And getting the chance to get up close and personal with some of the local wildlife. Some of which you'll never see back home, like this family of emus, or wild budgerigars. Another awesome adventure ticked off, and all made possible by this amazingly versatile motorcycle. Well, there she is, back from the trip, and it's probably in need of another service. Not sure how many Ks I did, I think maybe 3.5 or something maybe, I'll have to check. Anyway, yeah, pretty happy. No major issues at all, nothing came loose. No stacks. Yeah, she's all good. In fact, this 1170cc air oil-cooled boxer twin is so successful and been so reliable that they're still using the latest incarnation of this engine in their R12 series of motorcycles, 20 years on. In these two videos, I'll be revealing what it's been like to live with this bike from a long-term ownership perspective, why and how I acquired it, places I've taken it, how this bike has well exceeded my expectations for reliability and longevity, and how this rescue bike also rescued its rider. But first, let me take you back to where it all started. Like many kids, Honda's Z50 is where it all started, progressing through to the Yamaha XT500, honing my off-road skills and giving me a newfound freedom, then getting my license on my XL250. After that, I discovered road bikes, and I had a series of different models over the years, some of which I still regret selling. But road riding just didn't cut it anymore, and I felt like there was always something missing. Something which in the future I'd pass on to my youngest daughter. The thrill of off-road adventure. So things came full circle and I bought my first Tenere. That feeling was back and I had some awesome adventures, even introducing my new mate Paul, who had just bought a V-Strom, to adventure riding. It really opened up a whole new level of enjoyment. That is, until that fateful day when everything was literally turned on its head. It was New Year's Day 2010, back when action cameras were pretty crap. And only my second adventure ride with Paul. It was 30 degrees and I'd only just taken off my jacket, because I figured we were only going fairly slow. The road was smooth and really easy to ride. And as I approached the crest, I could see the track in the distance. and I figured I'd just pop the front up and ski down the other side like I did when I used to race BMX as a kid. And then this happened. An unexpected hidden washout just after the crest. Dazed and in pain, as I stood up, my right arm fell in half and I was coughing up blood. You can even see how many times the bike went end over end. I was keeping to the far left to avoid any oncoming traffic. But with the front off the ground, I had no steering or braking. The pain was excruciating, with the broken bones pinching on the nerves. And my list of injuries was pretty significant. With my arm in a plastic clamshell, it was 2 weeks before I was operated on. 8 months to regain the use of my arm, a plate and 9 screws which I'll carry with me for the rest of my life. But at least I had that option. It could have been much worse. I was just lucky that Paul was there to help me, otherwise it could have been a different story. Somehow he just managed to get out an emergency phone call and sent for an ambulance. You can see from these photos how well graded the road was, and approaching the crest, how the washout was not apparent. I'd taken that for granted. Believe it or not, this was actually a gazetted public road, and no warning signs. It was deep enough to swallow the rear wheel, compress the forks, and cause the bike to go end over end for 30 metres. And I only had myself to blame, and my Tenere was terminated. It was a fork in the road moment, and replaying the accident over in my head, I knew what I'd done wrong. And after watching the Dakar from a hospital bed, all I can think of was getting another bike. During my lengthy recovery, I couldn't get enough of binge watching Charlie and Ewan and their awesome round-the-world adventures. Long way round and long way down. It was awe-inspiring, and they were doing it on BMWs. Then, seeing my Tenere sold at auction gave me another idea. With my insurance payout, I could upgrade to a GS. Fast forward to September 2010, and at the next auction I had that chance, one in yellow and one in blue. My heart was set on the blue GS, a repairable write-off only 5 years old, with only 30,000 kilometres. It had an ABS issue and had been dropped on its side, considered uneconomical to repair by the insurance company, but not to me. And as luck would have it, I had the winning bid at 5,500 Australian dollars. I couldn't believe my luck. The blue GS was now mine. All that was left to do was to strap this beast down and to take it home. And of course, start the repair process. Luckily, the ABS issue turned out to be an easy fix by adjusting the micro switch for the rear brake, whereas other items would need complete replacement, like the rocker cover and obviously the headlight. Some of these things I was even able to source from eBay, like the indicators. I'd already inspected the bike the previous day and it came with a key and a condition report, and I was pretty confident that I could get this back on road at minimal cost. Back then these bikes were selling for 15 grand. Then finally, getting the bike home safely under the watchful eye of my daughter Jess, who was well impressed, giving her seal of approval by making me a Father's Day card, which you may have seen somewhere before. With another strike of luck, some Hepco and Becker crash bars came up for sale, a mandatory modification for off-roading. And as if it was meant to be, remarkably, these crash bars came off the very bike that I had just bought, but were not fitted at the time of the accident. And as fate would have it, they were now back where they belong. Other added extras were a touring screen, pivot pegs, a bash plate, and nice to have Vario panniers. A factory tank bag was added, and also some road wheels for commuting, which are easy to swap over, then swap back when I want to take it off-road. And some other necessities that only a BMW rider would understand. Despite its reliability, it hasn't all been smooth sailing. Like any bike, there have been parts that have worn, parts that have broken. Okay, so I'm just taking the rear wheel off. You can see some damage that I've got here. And even a few small mishaps which I'll be sharing with you in the next video. Not long after I bought my GS, Paul sold his V-Strom and bought his first GSA. And it was just the beginning of many more awesome adventures. And so to see this video out, here's some core memories from adventures that I've had on this amazingly versatile motorcycle. Over 15 years has been uber reliable and has handled everything I've asked from it without any fuss, allowing me to live out my adventure dreams. But above all, after a life-changing accident, it has given me back my confidence as a rider.